Moorlands Radio Sport, in association with Leek Building Society.
Really late, didn't you, today, Josh?
Yeah, and you do start to wonder whether the moment will come. Obviously, I'm so delighted that it did, and them last-minute winners are the ones that you savour the most. And obviously, the scenes at the end were incredible, as everyone's seen. But yeah, we've sent everybody home happy, and another 3 points on the board.
Yeah, and teams now, as you've said many times in the past, because we are so successful, or Leek Town is so successful, they've worked out strategies, haven't they? They are double marking Rob Stevenson, Carr, all the goal scorers. They're finding it very, very difficult to make progress. Yeah,
massive credit to Mossley today. They were, very, very difficult to play against. They've come here with a clear game plan. We need to sort of accept that that's going to continue to happen in certain games for sure, and we've got to find ways of trying to break that down. And obviously that's going to take some real hard work on the training ground to continue to sort of to sort of learn how to sort of navigate our way through their moments. But a big part of it's the sort of mental side and not getting too frustrated, and just continuing to believe, continue to try to do the right things. And I think the other thing is that we have to pay testament to is how defensively solid we've been. Obviously another clean sheet, which is the bedrock of this run of form. And I think when teams, you see it so often when teams defend as Mossley do, that teams lose their discipline when they're trying to break them down. They leave too many spaces and all of a sudden you're 1-0 down, and then you've got a real mountain to climb. So the fact that we kept another clean sheet is really, really pleasing. And again, I can't think of too many moments really where I felt like, we were going to concede. I think we got counter-attacked on a couple of times that I wasn't happy about, but we got back in and did enough to sort of defend the goal well.
Overall, how pleased were you with how your side tried to win the game throughout?
I'm pleased with certain aspects for sure, in terms of their resilience, their ability to sort of remain disciplined and focused. We've spoke about it a lot earlier on in the season about how we need to continue in games where it's 0-0, continue to do the things that we would do if we were in control of the game and winning the game 2-3-0, like we have had at times this season. So, that's easier said than done. And there was probably times where we went a little bit too direct, a little bit too straight. But equally, I was actually more comfortable that we were looking more likely to pick up a ball in an area in the midfield from a second that actually allowed us to then play, because of the way Mossley set up. They almost sort of invited us out and set some traps that I won't say we fell into, but we struggled to sort of play through that first part of the press. So in the end, in the end we found a way, obviously, and again set plays are a massive part of every game, both offensively and defensively, and in the end that's been the difference today.
And how much injuries have obviously occurred to your side? How many problems are those causing you with your team selections now?
Yeah, obviously Grice was back in today. Josh Ryder was obviously included in the squad again, and has done really, really well to get back from obviously where he was sort of 11 months ago. And he's almost there. So he's played in a friendly game last week, and he's played for the development side twice as well. Trickett obviously being the main sort of absence at this moment in time, and the squad is relatively small, and we'd certainly like to sign and bring in another player. We're hopeful that that's going to happen imminently, and with one in particular, which would be a really exciting signing for us, but that's not over the line yet. Injuries aren't a massive concern right now, but clearly we're going into another game Tuesday, and then obviously we've got a couple of other Tuesday fixtures coming up along the line as well, and that they are hard to sort of go through those 3 game weeks. So clearly we'll have to utilise the squad to its full.
How seriously are you going to take the Staffordshire Senior Cup tie?
Yeah, well, listen, we still want to win. We want to go and win the game. We want to go and win the competition. We want to win every game that we're involved in. Obviously, momentum's a big thing, and That's going to be really important to us. But at the same time, I think it's a great opportunity for us to have a look at players who've been really patient and waited for an opportunity. So I think it will definitely be a game that we'll make some changes in, but doesn't mean we're not taking the competition seriously. We want to win the game. As soon as we arrive there on Tuesday, the focus is on how we make sure we beat Hensford, who are clearly a team now probably in a false position given their run of form. I'm not sure how they've done today, but
they've actually lost, I think, today.
Okay, but they've been on a really good run. I think 11 points from the 6 games prior to today, and only because of other teams in the bottom embers of the league winning games as well. That's prevented them from probably getting out of the bottom 2. So they're better than where their league position puts them, and it'll be another really, really tough game.
So you've got some signings you think are more or less over the line. Any hint as to where they would be playing if you sign them?
Well, interestingly, this particular player would be someone who could play in multiple positions, and that's one of the things that really attracted me to him, because I think that when you can bring someone in who is not just competent but really can excel in playing more than one position for you, it's as obviously as good as recruiting 2 players, particularly with the quality that we've got. I don't think we're in a position where we need to go and sign 2, 3, 4 players, because clearly we've got an amazing group, both from a unity point of view, but also clearly a talented group. So we don't need to do a great deal, but if we can just add that little bit extra to the group, that would be really, really sort of pivotal, I think, in this run of games that we're going to have coming up.
And it'd be wrong of me not to ask a question about Ollie Harrison, because he passed a late fitness test, I believe, before the match, and we were sort of talking in commentary that he isn't scoring as many goals as he should be, we think, but he came up with the goods today. Yeah,
well, clearly last season he scored a number of goals and was criticised for not scoring more. He had the opportunity to probably get to double figures. He's not quite reached those heights yet this season, but I think people play such sort of special attention to him in the box that at times it's hard for him because of that. Obviously absolutely delighted for him to get the goal, and he's worked through that game today. Like you say, he came in and did a bit of a fitness test before and got through the game, and that's testament to him. Huge credit to him for again showing that resilience to get through that today, and I'm delighted that he ended up being the match winner.
And he was very keen to tell me that he has scored goals already this season. This wasn't his first, but also the fact that he had to work really hard to get that goal. They've really been tough on him, the defenders, the Mossley defenders.
Yeah, and you could see it from the dugout. His shirt was. They were not letting him go. They were, when you talk about touch tight, that was the definition of it. They were grappling and holding onto his shirt and. Not giving him an inch, but he's so powerful, so strong that obviously he's managed to, bundle his way in on that moment there and get it over the line.
And final question, really, we've talked about the Staffordshire Senior Cup in midweek, but of course you've got a local derby coming up next Saturday at Nantwich. Do you approach that any differently than other games?
No, I don't think so. Again, Nantwich are a team in good form. They've had a real upturn in recent games. Again, not sure how they've done today, but in fact, no, I do. I think they've lost to 1-0. But again, that's the first goal they've conceded, I think, in 5 league games. They've recruited a couple of players. I think they're playing in a slightly different way with the system, and they've really shored up defensively. They're a massive threat on set plays. They're a big team, physically a really big team. It'll be the first time obviously we're going onto their new pitch and 3G as well. It's another game to look forward to, but obviously we're not looking beyond Hensford just now. Every game we've got 12, 14 league games, I think, maybe 14 games. Flipping heck, there's going to be some really up and down moments, I'm sure, because it's going to be, there's going to be games like that where teams want to come in and be the team that sort of can say that they've taken that scalp of beating the league leaders. So we've got to continue to just be really, really focused.
But at least today it looked for nearly 90 minutes as though it was going to be a cup of tea to celebrate with. But you can really celebrate now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Thanks very much for your time, Josh.
No problem. Cheers, Dave.